falling down except the concrete buildings. So I think it's got live. Yep. Should I start? Yes, okay. All right. Okay, very good evening to all our attendees and viewers watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Very warm welcome to the Author Saga series. And a quick recap for those of you who are new to Pick a Book. Pick a Book is all about reading and more reading and inculcating the habit of reading, the research, and presenting the summary of it in our regular meeting sessions. Creating a better world by changing the sense of self through the habit of reading is the vision of Pick a Book. Currently, Pick a Book marked its inspiring presence in 4 countries, Sri Lanka, India, Singapore, and UK, with over 1,200 plus readers, 19 plus regions, and 100,000 plus people inspired through our sessions. You know, Pick a Book continues to spread its wings across the globe, and we have come up with this beautiful initiative, a brand of our own called Author Saga series, you know, wherein the authors can reach their readers and individuals with like-minded interests, and and authors can reach their interests with like-minded interests, and authors can discuss the key insights of their book, and the readers can have this wonderful opportunity to know more about the book from the author herself. So without any delay, let us invite a guest for tonight, Ruth Dinushi Mohotti, with her wonderful book Bricks joins the toy box. So very warm welcome, Ruth.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Soarna.
Great.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Equally our pleasure to have you. And ladies and gentlemen, to know a little more about Ruth, she is a Sri Lankan born and bred in Seychelles, an alumni of University of London, University of Seychelles, Staffordshire University, and APIIT Sri Lanka. So computing and information systems graduate and holder of Masters in Business Administration. She is active in voluntary service with Seychelles Centennial Women's Lions Club and currently district officer for Hanga Region E, District 411A of Lions Club International. So with that great introduction of this great lady, let's once again welcome Ruth. Okay, so Ruth, first of all, you know, from my side and the whole fraternity of Pick a Book, we all would love to congratulate you on the success of this wonderful book, and we wish you a long way in writing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you. Okay, to start with, I would like to know, are you an avid reader?
Indeed, I am. I think that was my first love in life.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Indeed, my mom is the culprit, if I'm to say that. She loves books, and she got me hooked at a very early age.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. In fact, that starts from everything that's good starts from home. So it should be. Okay, so you have started from very young age, right? So what, haven't you all time with books, and which is that book that made you hooked to that, the kind of reading habit?
Well, I wouldn't say it's just one book.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the idea or that feeling books bring that got me hooked to it. Because it was just an escape from reality into this imaginary world that you can relate to.
Yes.
So I think it's not, I wouldn't say one book, but a combination of many good books, many classics.
Wonderful. So that's the beauty of reading, I would say. You know, it just totally brings you away, takes you away from, the place where you're sitting from. So thank you so much. And okay, so is there any story that you would like to share behind choosing this title of this book?
Title of this book, yes. So when I first published it, or well, I shared it with friends, I got some very concerned feedback from parents. They're like, pricks, isn't that a bit negative? But then as adults, we tend to see the world through many filters.
Yes.
And so the word prick itself could be negative to a parent, but if you look through the lens of a child where it's unfiltered, prick would mean just a prick on your arm.
That's it.
So that's exactly what the story is about. It's just a nickname given out of something very innocent and not at all anything negative. And if I'm to add on that, well, obviously, if you look at the cover, you'll see it's a story about a monkey. So a toy monkey.
Yeah.
Who's a bit different from everybody else.
That's wonderful. That's a beautiful title, and I would say the cover is also looking great. Okay, so when did you? Oh yeah. Okay, so when did you start your writing journey? So what inspired you to get into writing?
Well, that's a very good question. Honestly speaking, I was an avid reader at a very early age, but I was an artist. So, well, I loved to draw when I was a child.
Okay.
And I did not write a lot. I think I was really far behind in terms of writing, but I would express thoughts with art. So what happened was, as I got older, my mom was concerned that I was spending so much time in drawings, because I would just get inspired by my surrounding and I would just draw nature. So being concerned, art, drawing became a little restricted at home. So I realized that writing was my other option. So I would just start writing what I would see, just descriptions. And bit by bit, I realized that I would do that all the time, all day, and I wouldn't get reprimanded for it. So I think at around the age of 7, 8, about 8, I would say. Yeah, that's when I first started.
Awesome. Great. So though it started as an alternative, it became your, the inspiration for this book. That was
Indeed.
wonderful. Yeah.
Because for me, what I would say is writing is my medium of expression.
Exactly. That's a beautiful.
So it's good therapy.
Yeah, it is. It is. Any form of expression, I would say, and for any human being, there should be at least one form of expression, which they like, either through art form or else, writing or, acting, whatever, that keeps their life lively and going. Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. So, is there any specific objective behind choosing this particular genre or, this particular story?
Nothing specific. In fact, this book, Pricks Joins the Toy Box, is actually the first book out of a series. And I wrote it when I was still in secondary school. So I'm only releasing it now because of obvious reasons. I got held up with studies and I also needed funding. So it's only now. And also, I thought it would be a good way to show children how you can connect with the world that is not similar to you. So how you can cope with indifferences, how you can cope with any forms of bullying. So I thought, I actually came across these stories by accident while I was cleaning out. So it wasn't a genre that I chose specifically, but I believe it is a worthy genre to help the young minds.
Okay. Great. Okay, so all the while writing this book, right, is there any a time where you got stuck or you just got demotivated, like I couldn't continue further, or just got a break, because you got, I mean, just no idea or anything like that? Any such hiccups have you faced while writing?
Well, my main hiccup would have been not the writing part,
Mhm.
because I can be an addict when it comes to writing. I can go on.
Okay.
So the minute I have an idea or I need to express something, I need to write it and get it done.
Okay.
I wouldn't focus on anything else. My only hiccup, I would say, is the after writing process. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
my major hiccup.
Yeah.
Looking for a publisher who would accept it,
Exactly.
getting it printed,
Mm.
and spreading the word.
I know. Okay. So if you want to share anything that, I mean, you are telling this story through, you said like you have got your own experiences attached to it. So would you like to share any of such funny experiences or anything like that attached to this book or from your personal life?
Sure. Well, actually, it is like I said, writing is my way of expressing.
Mhm.
And I was born and raised, like you mentioned earlier, in Seychelles.
Okay.
So I'm obviously a bit different nationality and all.
Okay.
So in school, I wouldn't call it bullying because I didn't take it negatively, but I did feel that difference. And I
Mhm.
also had another friend who didn't do well in coping it.
Okay.
I coped well and
Mhm.
she didn't.
Ah,
So I thought of how I could express my way of coping through writing, so that if out there there's a child who has
mm,
that difficulty, and
yeah.
reading the story would inspire them, to be able to cope with that kind of situation. So it's
Okay.
how, when you're different and you're new to a place, how you tend to, well, even if you don't want to, you tend to
Mm,
stand out because of your differences. And how do you cope well and integrate into the existing system?
exactly. Wonderful. It's a beautiful topic to cover and express your views through the book. It's even more wonderful because bullying is something that is so common, especially the younger kids. You know, they just don't know like how to cope up. They'll have a lot of confusion in life. They don't know who to share with. All these things. Yeah. So so when we are talking about this, the very own concept of bullying. So would you like to give us, especially the younger ones, just one or two tips on, how to take this whole bullying into our minds?
Well, I would just probably have just one response. No matter what's happening around you, try to focus on your own dreams, because every child would have a certain dream in life. So if you're having a difficult situation at school or anywhere else, which I would say is focus on your dream, and with each difficulty, whether it's emotional or physical or psychological, just forget about everything. It's difficult to do that, but if you try to see only your dream and your purpose, like why you're there and what you want to do, it's very easy to cope because everything else becomes irrelevant. And then also, um, what I would try to say is that when you go through these challenges in life, like bullying, what you have to understand is that it's not you who's the problem. The person who's bullying you is the one with an issue. So if you can have empathy towards them, not pity, but empathy, and try to understand why they're trying to bully you, and if you can understand that and realize that it's only to make them feel a little better about themselves, and maybe there might be a hint of jealousy somewhere in there where they would wish to be you, if you can keep that in mind, I think anyone can get through any kind of bullying.
Absolutely. I hope I'm audible. I just
Yes, you are. Yes.
yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What you said is 100% true. I totally agree when you said that, the people, often bully other people because they lack that something in them, in the other person they lack. They try to express it through this negative comments, and that's a very valid reason, in fact, psychologically also. So yeah, that's a great way of putting in their minds that yeah, to have empathy towards the person who is actually commenting on that. So I quite like that idea. Great, thanks for sharing that. Okay, so in this whole journey, writing journey, so yeah, like you said, the difficult part of it is post writing. So by the way, how long did you take to finish this book?
The entire process
No,
of writing to publishing?
the book. Writing
Just
the book.
writing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it didn't take that long.
Okay.
Probably a couple of hours.
So you've already been
very
writing
small.
for so many years. So it's a cakewalk for you. Yeah, okay. So how long did it take the entire the publishing process or editing process, so altogether?
Well, looking for a publisher was the one that took the longest. I think I was searching for a whole year when a friend recommended the Jam for Tree publications. And when I wrote to them and I asked, things started moving a little faster. So I would say a time span of 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay.
From searching to actually getting the book printed and published.
Okay. Okay, so one more thing is that, okay, there are a lot of people who are right now, especially after the pandemic, I'm seeing a lot of people getting into this writing habit. They're in fact loving to express their views through writing and all these things. So for them, for the new beginners who are started their writing career, so would you like to put that whole process in points, like, the writing is a part of it, post that, what happens, post that, what happens, until it comes out to the public?
Sure. So the first thing is to have your idea set out very clear. So there's two kinds of authors or two kinds of writing. You could be an adventure writer whereby you don't have the plot in mind. You're just exploring it as you are writing. So you'll just be like the reader, except you're the one writing. And then the other kind would be the one who has an entire plot in mind, who knows the stages, what to do when it happens and all that. So first off, you've got to decide which one you want to be. The first kind is a bit risky because it could take much longer. But if you have an idea of the beginning, the middle, and the end, it gets you focused, and you will have that as a project, and the product gets completed within a set time frame. So always have deadlines. If you're a new author, you're starting out, and you also have the little weakness of procrastinating, I would advise keep strict deadlines, personal deadlines, and get it done, because that's the easy part of this entire process. The most difficult is the proofreading and editing, because sometimes as an author, you might have an idea, but once it's written out, it might not fully give the picture that you intended. Sometimes the way you write can give a different meaning to a reader. So what I would say is, if you don't have a publisher at the start, share your story with a few friends, get their feedback. As many feedback as you get, you can then improve on your second, third, fourth. So one thing any beginner should keep in mind is that not to be afraid to go on even up to 10 drafts. The more draft versions that you have, you know that you're polishing it out. But then do not overdo it to the point where you've lost interest in your story and it's completely different from what it started out to be. So that's the most valuable stage if you do not have a publisher. But if you do, then things are a bit easier, because then your publisher would also assist you. Then again, if you're somebody without a publisher, look for a publisher who publishes books of your genre or is interested in publishing your story. Nowadays, I think publishing is a bit easier compared to olden days, because in the past, it used to be the publisher who had the power per se. Now we have very hybrid ways of publishing. There's also self-publishing that somebody can do.
Yeah.
And so many platforms that assist young authors.
Yeah.
So figure out what you want to do, as in, as an author, how you want to get your book out there.
Okay.
And then just go through that process step by step, because once you meet your publisher or your platform, publishing platform, things get a lot easier and they assist you with the laying out of your book. If you need illustrations, or if you already have your illustrations, they help you out formatting your book and printing and getting it on shelf.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, that sums it up all, ladies and gentlemen. For any new beginner, this is what it is, the step-by-step process. So first important thing is, yeah, like she said, it's a story, what kind of an author, what kind of writing you want to pick it up, and then the rest follows. Yeah, but then you need to be careful. You need to meet the deadlines. So that's the most crucial part of it. And then the rest, yep. So all things should fall in place at their own time. Good. Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful advice, Ruth. And yeah, okay. Yeah. So if I would give you an option to choose Ruth as a reader or Ruth as a writer, so what's your pick?
Wow, that's a tough pick.
Okay, Ruth as a district officer, Ruth as a writer.
Well, Ruth as a writer.
Wonderful, good. Okay, so okay, we are almost coming to the end of it. Okay, before I'll close this, I just want to know, a little more about your future projects.
Well, I'd like to get this series out as a complete package, because each story out of it gives out a certain moral lesson. It builds up. So I'd like to finish that and hopefully get as many young readers as possible.
Yes.
And get their feedback as well. So that's the future plan for the next year.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we all wish you all the very best for your future endeavors, whatever you finish the series or, whatever that you plan to in future. So we wish you all the very best to you, and we'll be looking forward for this wonderful series of books from you. And yeah, definitely the young readers are, pretty much curious people than everybody else. So, so definitely would love to read stories like this. Thank you so much for being on our show today. And yeah, we would like to see you again with another great book of yours. And very soon we will wish that happen.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Have a good day, Ruth. Thank you so much, lovely audience, and for your time, for being with us in the show tonight. And I hope you all have enjoyed the conversation with me and Ruth, talking about a monkey, story of a monkey, and yeah, a great concept covered through the book. Thank you so much.